All right, so are you ready to dive into some major F1 shakeups with us?
Always ready.
Okay, good, because this is a big one. Lewis Hamilton,
Yeah.
7-time world champion.
Icon.
That's right. A true icon of the sport has left Mercedes for Ferrari.
Wow.
You heard that right? Hamilton is trading silver for red, and you sent in a whole bunch of Spanish articles
Right now, I saw...
to help us unpack what this all really means.
Yeah, let's get into it.
So let's get into it.
First thing that jumps out at me is just the symbolism of it all.
Right.
I mean, Hamilton hasn't switched teams since 2013.
Yeah, over a decade.
That's over a decade building a dynasty with Mercedes.
It's hard to even imagine.
To see him in Ferrari red is like a seismic shift in the F1 universe. It really is.
Yeah, it's like waking up to a completely different reality.
I know.
And the reactions have been just as fascinating.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So, TOTO Wolff, Mercedes' head, honcho, he actually compared Hamilton's exit to a divorce.
Oh, wow.
He said that seeing him with Ferrari is like seeing your ex with a new partner. Yeah, ouch is right.
That's more than just some playful banter, though.
Right.
It really speaks volumes about the complex relationship between these two.
Absolutely. They had so much success together.
Incredible success, but now there's this sense of betrayal of competition.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't just business anymore, it's personal.
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder, how will this personal dynamic play out on the track?
Yeah. How is that going to translate to what we see, wheel to wheel?
Exactly.
It's like adding fuel to an already fiery rivalry.
Oh, for sure.
And speaking of fire, Hamilton has already been spotted at Ferrari HQ,
Oh, really?
looking sharp in a black suit, posing next to a classic F40.
Talk about making an entrance.
Talk about making a statement, right? It's not just a driver change, it's a culture clash.
Yeah.
Ferrari, with this legendary history, passionate fans, the Tifosi, and that fiery Italian spirit,
Right.
it's a world apart from that corporate measured environment of Mercedes.
Completely different.
How will Hamilton, who thrived in that Mercedes system,
adapt to this new, more volatile world?
big question.
Yeah, raises so many questions. And you mentioned the Tifosi,
Yeah.
those diehard Ferrari fans.
Yeah,
Their expectations are sky high.
they are.
No pressure, Lewis.
Ah,
But what about Mercedes?
Right.
They haven't won a title since 2021.
okay.
Finished 4th last season, and now they've lost their star driver.
Yeah.
How are they handling this Hamilton-sized hole in their lineup?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. Instead of going for a seasoned pro, they've chosen 18-year-old KIMI Antonelli, who's only had 1 year in F2.
Wow.
It's a massive gamble.
It's a bold move, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Are they putting too much faith in this young driver?
Well, the articles suggest that Mercedes has had their eye on Antonelli since he was just 11 years old.
11 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
They've been nurturing him through their driver development program. Even TOTO Wolff acts as his manager.
Wow.
They clearly see him as a future champion.
Talk about long-term planning.
But is raw talent enough at this level? He's not just replacing any driver. He's replacing Lewis Hamilton.
That's right.
What kind of pressure is this kid under?
Imagine the pressure cooker of stepping into those shoes in a team desperate to reclaim its former glory.
Yeah.
He's got the weight of the team, the legacy of Hamilton,
The whole world's watching.
and the scrutiny of the entire F1 world on his young shoulders.
It's a sink-or-swim situation.
It is.
It's a high-stakes gamble for Mercedes.
Yeah.
And let's not forget, they need to deliver a car capable of winning.
Right.
Can Antonelli rise to the challenge, or will this gamble backfire?
We'll have to see.
We'll have to see. And that's just one side of the coin.
Right.
What about Hamilton at Ferrari?
Yeah.
They've got this proven champion, a car that's shown potential,
Yes,
and a fan base hungry for victory.
for sure.
But is it all sunshine and roses?
That's a good question.
You mentioned that passionate Tifosi and that fiery Ferrari spirit.
Right.
It's a far cry from the calmer waters of Mercedes.
Yeah. Very different.
Could that intensity, that pressure, actually work against Hamilton?
It's a valid question. Ferrari's known for its internal politics, its demanding environment.
A tough environment.
Will Hamilton thrive under that pressure, or will it crack his composure?
Right.
And what about the technical side? Hamilton's known for his aggressive, sometimes flamboyant driving style.
Right.
Will that mesh with Ferrari's car, which has often been more about finesse and handling?
Right. So will Ferrari adapt the car to Hamilton, or will he have to adjust his approach?
Right.
And how will he fit into the team dynamic?
So many questions.
It's going to be intriguing to see how this plays out.
Absolutely. And speaking of intriguing, one of the articles mentions an incident during testing that we should probably discuss.
Okay.
Apparently, on his second day at the Barcelona circuit, Hamilton crashed the Ferrari.
Hold on. He crashed it during testing. What happened?
Details are scarce, unfortunately.
Oh, come on.
The articles just mentioned Hamilton crashed the Ferrari.
Okay.
No word on the extent of the damage or the cause.
Wow. Now that's a story in itself.
It is.
It's not uncommon for drivers to push the limits during testing, but a crash this early on raises questions.
Definitely.
Was it driver error? A mechanical issue?
Well,
Or were they pushing too hard too soon?
it's certainly a red flag, pun intended.
Yeah,
It reminds us that this move isn't a guaranteed success story.
right.
There are challenges, risks, and potential pitfalls for both Hamilton and Ferrari.
It's like a high wire act with the whole F1 world watching to see if they'll stumble.
Yeah.
But, that's what makes this so compelling.
Absolutely.
The stakes are high, the tension is palpable, and the outcome is uncertain.
And that uncertainty is what makes this season a must-watch.
Couldn't agree more.
This driver swap has thrown a grenade into the established order of F1, and the repercussions will be felt throughout the grid.
Wow.
But before we get into that,
Okay.
take a closer look at Mercedes' side of the equation.
Fine.
They've lost their champion, they've placed a risky bet on youth, and they're hungry to reclaim their spot at the top.
Okay, so Mercedes is facing an uphill battle, but they're known for their resilience and their ability to innovate.
That's right.
So let's dive into their strategy and see if they can pull off a comeback against the odds.
Mercedes is at a crossroads, that's for sure. Losing Hamilton is a blow, but it also creates a fascinating opportunity.
Yeah.
They can rebuild around Antonelli, shape him into their kind of champion.
It's high risk, high reward, isn't it?
Absolutely.
They're essentially betting their future on this young driver.
They are.
You mentioned their driver development program. What have we learned from the articles about how they nurture talent and why they might be so confident in Antonelli?
Well, their program is renowned in F1. I mean, they identify promising youngsters early on. Remember, they've had Antonelli on their radar since he was 11?
11 years old.
11 years old.
That's incredible.
They provide not just driving coaching, but also mental conditioning, media training, even financial guidance. It's a holistic approach to developing champions.
It sounds like a Formula One finishing school for prodigies.
It really does.
But even with all that support, Antonelli faces an immense challenge.
He does.
He needs to learn the ropes, handle the pressure, and deliver results, all while driving in the shadow of Lewis Hamilton.
Huge shadow.
What are the experts saying about his chances?
Well, their articles highlight Antonelli's maturity and his seamless integration into the team.
Okay.
He's described as eager, adaptable, and already building strong relationships with the engineers.
That's good.
But it's a long season, and everyone's waiting to see how he'll perform under the intense scrutiny of a race weekend.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And let's not forget, the car. Mercedes hasn't had the fastest car on the grid for a couple of seasons now.
That's right.
Can they bridge the gap to Ferrari and Red Bull? Give Antonelli the machinery he needs to succeed.
That's the million-dollar question.
It is.
The new regulations have shaken things up, so there's potential for Mercedes to regain their technical edge.
Okay.
But it's a tight development race,
Yeah.
and they'll need to be innovative and efficient to catch up.
So it's a two-pronged challenge for Mercedes. Develop their young driver and develop a winning car.
Correct.
All while battling the ghosts of their past success.
Yeah, you could say that.
It's a tall order,
It is.
but they've proven themselves capable before.
They have. And this situation might actually play to their strengths.
How so?
Well, without Hamilton's dominant presence, there's a chance for a more collaborative team spirit to emerge. Other drivers like George Russell might step up and take on leadership roles.
Interesting. So it's like hitting the reset button on team dynamics.
Yeah, you could see it that way. But what about Ferrari?
Right, what about them?
They've got the superstar, the passionate fans, the legacy of speed and success. But is bringing Hamilton into the fold as simple as it seems?
That's what I'm wondering. You mentioned the passionate Tifosi and that fiery Ferrari spirit. It's a far cry from the calmer waters of Mercedes.
It's a completely different beast.
So Hamilton's stepping into a pressure cooker.
Oh, yeah.
And we know from experience that even the greatest drivers can crack under pressure.
For sure.
How do you see him handling the Ferrari pressure cooker?
Well, it's a test of his adaptability, his mental toughness. Can he thrive in this more volatile atmosphere? Can he navigate the internal politics and maintain his focus?
No, tough ask.
It is. Remember, this is a team that has chewed up and spat out many talented drivers in the past.
That's right. It's a high-stakes gamble for both sides.
Yeah.
If it works, it could be a match made in heaven, a dynasty in the making. But if it backfires...
It could implode spectacularly.
Wow.
Imagine the headlines. Hamilton fails to tame the prancing horse. Ferrari implodes under pressure.
The media would have a field day.
They would. The media will be watching every move, every expression, waiting for any sign of weakness.
The drama is off the charts.
Yeah.
So let's step back from the individual teams for a moment.
Okay.
And consider the broader impact of this driver swap.
All right.
How do you think this move has shifted the landscape of Formula One?
This is where it gets really fascinating. It's not just about two teams, it's about the entire sport.
Right.
Hamilton's move to Ferrari has thrown a grenade into the established order. It's like a catalyst accelerating the pace of change, intensifying the competition.
It's like a ripple effect spreading outward from the central point. How do you see that affecting other teams and drivers on the grid?
Other teams are suddenly playing catch-up.
Yeah.
They have to reassess their strategies, their development plans, their driver lineups.
They can't afford to stand still.
They can't. They can't afford to stand still in this new environment. What about the drivers themselves? How do you think this move is affecting the mental game, the psychology of the competition?
Yeah, it's going to be messing with people's heads.
I think some drivers will be energized by this challenge, seeing it as an opportunity to prove themselves against the very best.
Right.
Others will feel the pressure, the weight of expectation, maybe even a sense of intimidation going up against Hamilton in a Ferrari.
Yeah, I can see that. It's like a mental arms race, with everyone trying to gain an edge to stay ahead of the curve. This psychological battle, the mind games, could be just as crucial as the on-track action.
Oh, absolutely. And let's not forget the fans. The Tifosi are already in a frenzy dreaming of a championship with Hamilton at the wheel.
Yeah.
But Mercedes fans are heartbroken, some even feeling betrayed. This move has stirred up a maelstrom of emotions, creating new rivalries and shifting allegiances.
It's like a soap opera, playing out on a global stage with millions of fans invested in the drama. But beyond the emotion, there are real-world implications.
There are.
How do you see this move affecting the business side of Formula One?
The commercial impact is significant. Hamilton and Ferrari, two of the biggest brands in motorsport joining forces, creates a marketing juggernaut. Expect a surge in merchandise sales, sponsorship deals, and global media attention. This partnership is a money-making machine.
It's a win-win for both sides, commercially speaking. But what about the sport itself? Will this move ultimately benefit Formula One? Or could it have unintended consequences?
It's a double-edged sword. On one hand, it injects excitement, unpredictability, and a fresh narrative into the sport. It attracts new fans, reignites old rivalries, and creates a buzz that's been missing in recent years.
So it's good for the entertainment value, the spectacle of Formula One.
Yeah.
But what about the competitive balance? Could this move, with Hamilton joining a team that was already a contender, create a dominant force that stifles competition?
That's the risk. If Ferrari nails the car development and Hamilton adapts quickly to his new environment, they could be unstoppable. And that could lead to a period of dominance that diminishes the excitement for fans and discourages other teams.
So it's a delicate balance. You want a compelling championship battle, not a runaway victory. But ultimately, isn't that uncertainty, that potential for disruption, what makes Formula One so captivating?
Absolutely. We're on the edge of a new era with the established order in flux and the future uncertain. It's a time of opportunity for some, a time of reckoning for others, and it's all thanks to one driver's decision to change teams.
It's a reminder that in Formula One, just like in life, even the smallest change can trigger a cascade of events reshaping the landscape and creating a whole new set of possibilities. But before we get too philosophical, let's bring our deep dive back down to the track.
Agreed. Let's shift gears and talk about some of the specific storylines to watch as the new season unfolds. Where do you want to start?
Okay, so we've got this powder keg of a season brewing. Hamilton at Ferrari and Mercedes, gambling on youth, and the whole grid trying to adapt to this seismic shift.
Yeah.
What are some of the key storylines you'll be watching as the lights go out for that first race?
Well, for me, the most compelling narrative is the Hamilton-Mercedes showdown.
Oh, yeah.
Can he beat the team that made him a 7-time champion?
Right.
Can they prove they can win without him? It's a battle of pride, of legacies, and it's going to be fascinating to watch unfold.
It's the ultimate revenge plot. And what about the battle within Ferrari?
Ooh.
You've got Hamilton, this massive personality with a proven track record,
Yeah.
coming into a team known for its intense internal dynamics. How do you see that playing out?
It's a potential powder keg. Will Hamilton's arrival galvanize the team, or will it create friction, disrupt the existing hierarchy? And let's not forget his teammate, Charles Leclerc. He's a rising star, fiercely ambitious, and he's not going to simply step aside for Hamilton.
So we could have a championship battle brewing within Ferrari, even before they take on the rest of the grid.
It's possible.
It's almost too much drama to handle. But speaking of drama, what about the young gun Antonelli?
Yeah.
Is he going to sink or swim in that Mercedes pressure cooker?
That's the wild card, isn't it? We know he's got raw talent, and Mercedes clearly believes in him. But can he deliver under the pressure of replacing a legend? Will he rise to the occasion or crumble under the weight of expectation? It's a storyline that could go in so many directions.
So many, and let's not forget the other contenders.
Right, the rest of the grid.
Can teams like Red Bull, McLaren, or Alpine capitalize on this shakeup and challenge the Ferrari-Mercedes duopoly? Or will we see another two-horse race for the championship?
Well, this is where the new regulations come into play.
Okay.
They've leveled the playing field to some extent, creating an opportunity for other teams to close the gap. But it's still early days, and we'll have to see how the development race unfolds.
So we've got potential battles brewing within teams, between teams and across the entire grid. It's going to be a season of twists and turns, that's for sure. But let's shift gears for a moment and talk about the bigger picture.
Okay.
How do you think this Hamilton move will impact the sport of Formula One in the long run?
I think it's a watershed moment. It's a sign that Formula One is evolving, becoming more dynamic, more unpredictable. It's breaking free from the old patterns and embracing a new era of competition and excitement.
And that's got to be good for the sport, right?
Yeah.
Attracting new fans, keeping the old ones on the edge of their seats, and pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Exactly. And it's not just about the on-track action. This move has sparked a global conversation about ambition, loyalty, rivalry, and the pursuit of greatness.
Yeah.
It's a story that transcends motorsport and resonates with people on a human level.
It's a reminder that Formula One is more than just a sport. It's a drama, a spectacle, a reflection of our own hopes and dreams. And this Hamilton-Ferrari chapter is one for the history books.
Absolutely. It's a chapter that will be analyzed, debated, and remembered for years to come. But for now, we can only sit back, buckle up, and enjoy the ride as this incredible story unfolds before our eyes.
Well said. And on that note, we'll leave you with this thought. In Formula One, as in life, change is inevitable. It can be disruptive, unsettling, even painful at times. But it can also be exhilarating, inspiring, and ultimately transformative. So embrace the change, savor the drama, and remember that in this sport, anything is possible. Until next time, keep your engines revving and your minds racing.